say, yes, we have. We fought the Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC, 3 times in 3 decades as it tried to change the rules of engagement with our shareholder resolutions. And we were raising the issue of maquiladora wages on the proxies of the companies that, that basically the Fortune 500, up until 1999 when the SEC ruled that that was the purview of management, not of the shareholders. So after that, we had to just do it in dialogues. We couldn't do it on the ballot, per se. And everybody said it was because of SRIC that they made that rule. And during the recession depression in 2008, we continued meeting with the banks and credit card companies about all their practices and what effects they had on the banking system, home ownership, and our financial health as a nation. One other thing that SRIC started in 2011, along with Christian Brothers Investments, raising questions with the hotels that are located near Super Bowl sites. And they were asking the question, are you training your employees to recognize the signs of human trafficking? And many of you, we trained many of you to do those phone calls, and the outstanding group was the Sisters of the Holy Spirit. They made their calls all on Fridays because you had free long-distance calling on Fridays. So, it didn't stop us, even though Dallas was 5 hours away. You know what I'm saying? I mean, people think like, oh, you couldn't do it. No, we did it because we were organized and we got all of our volunteers to make those long-distance calls. And thank you for raising those questions, all of you that were our members that helped. And so, we've attended many shareholder meetings to make a statement, raise questions, present a resolution, or protest outside the meeting. I mean, I can't even remember all of the ones, and many of you in this room have been to AT&T, Valero, Wells Fargo, Citigroup. 1 year Disney was here. Sister Gabriella went with us to the Disney meeting. And, we've just oftentimes raise questions relentlessly because sometimes we don't have the resolutions there. And we've worked on the Medicaid expansion for Texas in 2013, 2015, and of course we were hoping this year that we would expand the Medicaid. So, and you may have heard that the vote did not take place tonight on the replacement for the Affordable Care Act. And just to say, the issues are going to continue. Justice is slow in coming. We lift up those who have led us. I just mentioned, I was one of the executive directors, Linda Southers, Mike Hess, Jim Donovan, and Anna Falkenberg. Each person's brought their own gifts and talents, and Anna has stepped up to visit different mines around the world and taken the lead with General Mills and different food issues as well. And so we want to thank all of our representatives for all these years. If anybody was representative to any of our meetings, maybe raise your hand. I know we've got quite a few people here, or that you were in leadership. Yes, for SRIC. Thank you. And we salute all of those that are here, those that couldn't make it tonight, and those that have gone before us and who are in the communion of saints. And just to bring us to the present, this proxy season, overall in the ICCR family, there were 283 stockholder resolutions with 165 companies. It represents so much work, really. And the highest numbers were on climate change, 66 resolutions just on climate change. Political contributions and lobbying was next with 48. And we filed resolutions with all the pharmaceutical companies asking them to report on the price increases since 2010 on their top 10 drugs. This is not a very popular question with the pharmaceutical companies, and Donna has led much of our work there. So, but we are in that mix. And just to, say, we persist. We know that we face many challenges. We always have. We know that we're not the day traders of stocks. We're long-term investors in this world, which asks and we don't say, okay, what profits did we make just in these past 3 months? So it's just a snippet of our history, and every day the newspaper is just filled with our issues. So when you're looking at the paper, you can just imagine that those are all the issues that we're raising. And we stand firm, even in the face of taking the road less traveled. We continue to move forward undaunted, using our economic power for the common good. So, yay for us and SRIC.
Thank you, Susan. SRIC is able to do what it does because of the manpower and woman power of all of us in our congregations and the many, many individuals who have contributed service and finance over the years. Tonight was made possible because many individuals and congregations and groups financially supported us. And at this time I would like to ask people to stand when I call your name. At the advocate level, there's Christus Santa Rosa. If you'd stand, please. Thank you. Monsignor Doug Pfeifer. Sisters of Charity of the Incarnate Word of San Antonio. And Sisters of the Holy Spirit and Mary Immaculate. At the Defender level, there are the Congregation of Divine Providence and Providence Trust. The Dominican Sisters of Houston. And Oblates School of Theology. At the Catalyst level, there's Mercy Investment Services Incorporated, Sisters of the Incarnate Word and Blessed Sacrament from Corpus Christi, Texas Lutheran University, and Madeline Yanta Leone. Thank you all for your support and for making this night possible. We also want to mention the Congregation of Sisters of Charity of the Incarnate Word of Houston, Texas. They were with us in SRIC way back in the beginning, and then for a little while they have not been with us, but this year they're coming back again, and we're very grateful that they are coming back. We also wish to acknowledge two individuals who have given wonderful service to SRIC for many years. One is Sister Barbara Annette, a sister of the Incarnate Word and Blessed Sacrament, who served as board chair for several years. And the other is Esther Ng. She has served as the treasurer of our organization for almost 20 years. Esther is not with us tonight, but we just want to acknowledge what a tremendous gift Esther is to SRIC. And now we come to the main event this evening, Capitalism 2.0, Building a New Global Economy. And I'm going to introduce our moderator and our three panelists, and I invite them to come up. Father Séamus Finn, come on up, wherever you are. There he is. He's our moderator tonight. He's the Missionary Oblate of Mary Immaculate. Father Séamus is an international leader in faith-consistent and socially responsible investing, and is responsible for faith-consistent investing at the Oblate Investment Pastoral Trust. He has served in leadership positions for a number of the Justice, Peace and Integrity of Creation offices of the Missionary Oblates of Mary Immaculate, a congregation that has a missionary presence in over 60 countries. Séamus serves as chair of the board of ICCR, that's the Interfaith Center on Corporate Responsibility. He's actively engages corporations that are in the OIP portfolio on the issues of sustainability, economic justice, and human rights. He follows closely those in the financial, extractives, and pharmaceutical sectors and other multinationals on their labor and supply chain issues. He also serves on the board of a number of organizations that are focused on domestic and global justice priorities in the public policy arena, especially those that relate to the International Monetary Fund, the World Bank, and the US government. Welcome.
Thank you, Veronica.
And the first panelist I would like to introduce is Dr. Annette Citzler. Dr. Citzler is Professor of Business and Finance and Claryce M. Bohls Professor of Economics at Texas Lutheran University. She has taught there since 1977. She holds a BA degree from Texas Lutheran, a master's from the University of Texas in Austin, and a doctorate from Texas A&M. She's a native of LaGrange, Texas, and she has a strong record of service on boards of nonprofit organizations. She was the founding president of the Fayette Community Foundation, which administers endowment funds to support the nonprofit community in Central Texas. She was also the founding president of the Guadalupe Valley chapter of Habitat for Humanity, and it's now thriving for 20 years in Seguin, Texas. She was recently appointed to the board of directors of the Minnie Stevens Piper Foundation of San Antonio, and she also has recently completed her service on the board of the Public Library Foundation of Seguin, Texas. Let's welcome Dr. Citzler. Another panelist is Miss Janie Barrera. Janie Barrera? Okay, there she is. Janie is the founding president and CEO of LiftFund. It's the largest nonprofit micro and small business lender in the United States. The organization provides loans and management training to entrepreneurs and to enterprises from startups to long-established businesses and operates in several states. President Barack Obama appointed Ms. Barrera to the President's Advisory Council on Financial Capability, and she also was named to the Board of Directors for the Federal Reserve of Dallas, the San Antonio branch. In 2015, she was named to the San Antonio Business Hall of Fame. She received a bachelor's degree from Texas A&M University Corpus Christi and a master's degree in business administration from the University of the Incarnate Word. Welcome. And our third panelist is Shawn P. Hughes. I have known Shawn personally for a number of years, and I'm happy that he's here with us. Shawn is from Broadway Bank, and he's a senior vice president, wealth advisor, and trust officer in the wealth management division. He came to Broadway Bank following 20 years with his private law practice, practicing adult guardianship, estate administration, and elder law. Shawn has a Bachelor of Business Administration in Marketing from Texas Christian University and a Doctor of Jurisprudence from St. Mary's University School of Law. He is a member of the Texas Guardianship Association, the National Guardianship Association, and the Elder Law section of the San Antonio Bar Association. Welcome, Shawn. And I will now turn it over to our moderator, Séamus.
Thank you. I only wish I had such a rich accent as Veronica does, but I'll do my best. Given the topic that we're going to wrestle with, I thought we have a little 5-minute video that's called Water is Life. It hopefully connects the theme of World Water Day, but also some of the conversation that we're going to have. It'll, just for about 4 or 5 minutes, invite you to relax and enjoy this introduction to the session.
It may be until we don't have much water, until when you realize how quickly, physically, your body needs that sacred medicine in order to keep moving, to keep living. It may not be until that time, globally, that the human family wakes up and realizes that water is sacred. Water is medicine. Water is life.
If we really knew and understood water, reverence would be the first and most natural expression.
Every ecological crisis, at the end of the day, is a ecological crisis.
We're facing a kind of systemic crisis. I would say it's a crisis of worldview. I think it's all happening because there's something fundamentally wrong with the way we're seeing the world and with the way in which we're interacting with the world and with each other.
Everybody knows it's becoming a more and more problematic issue. Access to fresh water. This is now creating wars around the world.
A shift in human consciousness is more important than ever.
Here they are letting these mines come in. That blew me away, mate. Without that panic and looked at that bloody river, mate. Well, we argued no end and water licenses out in the first place. Because we could see what they were doing in the river. Us dickheads walking around the street could see what the government was doing. And we got people that live all around the river system. They're the ones we should be thinking about.
The rivers connect us. The resource in the rivers connect us. The food source connects us as a community. Our food is sustained by the water. And that's what sustains us. It's really simple.
The water teach us what is the love. Without water, we can't learn the love.
How much do we have to compromise? You know, how much as Aboriginal people in this country, our voices are never heard. And when they do listen to it, if that's what you want to call it, they do absolutely nothing with it. They show it no respect. They just completely disregard anything we have to say.
Everybody up until modern humans understood that we live in a living world, in an experiencing world, and we just took an excursion away from that. And so we have now a disconnect between heart and mind. Our minds have been conditioned to a logic that contradicts the logic of the heart. That logic isn't working very well anymore. The systems that are built on it are not serving human happiness, and they're not bringing the utopian future that we thought that they would bring. So the collapse of that story of separation is bringing us into this place of unknown.
In the origin of most Western or white culture, there was originally an intentional agenda to separate people from place. And in that separation from the feeling that we have everything we need, a kind of scarcity and survivalism was
Very good. It's part of a longer video. You can catch it on YouTube, and happy to share with you the link as it develops the theme further on. I've got a few words of introduction, and then we'll hand it over to our panelists. And this is in the context of Capitalism 2.0. I suppose that immediately makes you excited just to dig into such a theme. But it's one that's been around for a while and has a number of folks writing and thinking about it. So in talking with Anna, we thought it might be interesting for us to enter into the conversation a little bit from hopefully a local Texas level, but also from a global systemic kind of questioning level. If you can move the next slide, None of the world's top industries would be profitable, they say, if they paid for the natural capital they use. So this is one of the contexts of today's discussion. It's, as you saw, the mining companies on the video, as they moved through the various regions of the world, many of those regions inhabited by native peoples, many of those regions where very important waterways exist, where very important agriculture settings are. The question always is, as you enter, as corporations enter into those spaces, how much indeed do they count what the use of the natural resources around them when they give a report to shareholders? And the total unpriced natural capital consumed by more than 1,000 global primary production and primary processing region sectors amounts to about $7.3 trillion a year. 13% of 2009 global GDP. So this is what often is asked about when you will hear people talk about triple bottom line accounting, or counting all the costs, or including the environmental and the social costs, and not just the financial figures in the reporting that comes when a company reports out what their return on investment or their return on their production for the past year was. The next slide. It's also been context, in terms of context for Capitalism 2.0, it's kind of a catchy phrase because we're used to, you know, the iPhone 7 and Microsoft 10 and Explorer 6 and all those other things. So the question is kind of in terms of buzzwords, what is it that needs to happen systemically? And you see it written about in relationship to conscious